Wednesday morning, I think. Was it Tuesday? Don't know, can't remember. Wednesday. Dad's just filling the boiler up with fuel. Anne's here for straw. So some second grade stuff. We're going to move some out of the way on this for the fences. Rob is sorting the chipper out, putting some new blades on it. And one of the stationary knives is really worn, so if we've got a spare one of them, we might swap that as well today. Anyway, I'll just lift this sandstone trough out the back of the hedge so that the fencers can get in to put the fence line down. The tree stump removal there. It's alright, isn't it? Yeah, the fencers are fencing around the garden there, and they're going to go down that gap. Well, that old stump was there, so I've just knocked it out with a bucket. Luckily, it's all rotting away now, so it came out easy. Bit of farmer style gardening. Every farmer uses a telehandler to do the garden. Just doing a bit of levelling out where I pull that tree stump out so this fence can carry on. You've got the strainer post in there. That old green fence, that was what would have kept me in when I was a kid. Here's a few random things to run over with the roller. A roller itself, a bottle of Prime, some stress balls and unbreakable bowls. Also, we've got a can of spray foam. Pie and chips, and see what all the fuss is about. So yesterday we said we were going to look at the compressor because it was overheating. Well, we found that some of the diaphragms in here was split, so it was basically losing air. So we turned that one off and that one there to take some of the load off it so it wouldn't work. Anyway, it has now decided to start making a rattling noise. I think it's twin pistons, so it sounds like something's gone wrong inside it. So whether we can make a good one out of that one and that previously broken one, I don't know. Because we're messing with the chipper, putting new blades on it, we're not going to mess with this today. Got this adapter now. We've got a T-piece on here, so we're going to plug that into there, then get an old compressor out of the workshop that does work, sit it there, plug them together, turn this one off, so that basically will just end up as a reservoir, feeding everything on the boiler, and the other compressor will comprise the compressed air. And then when we've got time, then we'll take the pump off this, take the pump off that one, and see if we can make a good one out of the two. So now this compressor is going to feed that one, and that's just going to be used as a reservoir. Is it turned off?
That's turned off, yeah.
Right, so.
Yeah, back at that.
Don't know if you remember, but this was the new concrete. It did not stay looking new for very long. It's nicely blended in with the rest of it. Looked a bit of an eyesore when it was bright white. Andrew's just clearing up now, ready for bringing the chipper out. Chipper is all ship shape now, so Rob's taking it around, ready for Dave chipping tomorrow. Got a bit of wheat going out next week, so this is the stuff that was a bit chaffy, that had a bit of spring wheat mixed in with it. So I'm just going to put it through the dryer with the hoover on, give it a bit of a clean. Going great there, eh? You've been by that dryer again, but that's in the dryer now, and then that's what it's hoovered out already. So bits of chaff and stuff. But we can put that in the boiler and that use it to keep us warm. Obviously yesterday you watched the seed snout be born. So this is this invention here. Well, loads of people were saying, why don't I put a division in the bucket? So it just goes across here and then all the grain will flow out. Well, that wasn't the point. The point was, it's an old bucket, but we still use it for loads of things. And if you just unclip this with this tie here, I'm going to do it with one hand. Take the spout off that and put it somewhere safe. Maybe not on the light of the Merlot. That bucket is perfectly usable for all the other jobs that we used to do with it. But at the time, see, because it's sealed at the back. In fact, if you look, there you go. So like when we were concreting the other day, we were using a bucket to put the concrete in. I was actually using the other one. We do have one ever so slightly smaller. But the whole thing is this bucket is not a dedicated bag filler or a drill filler. It's just a normal bucket with a slight modification that's now got so many more uses. So we can use it to fill the drill. We could use it to put a little bit of fertilizer in things. If we were bulk fertilizer and you don't want to tip the whole bucket full in, you can sort of spill it out until you've got the right amount and then shut it off. and put the rest back on the pile. Putting a division in it, all that's going to do is reduce the capacity of the bucket for all the other jobs. And also, there's no point in reducing the capacity of the bucket when you can just leave graining off one side of it and then go back and tip it back on the pile. The only time it would ever sort of be, you'd need to, is if you were filling like the last bag. You'd obviously have a little bit in the bucket where it kind of flowed out at an angle, but you could then tip it out and then scoop it up in that far corner, or just give it a shuffle. But it isn't, I wasn't trying to build a bag filler, because loads of people, like, you can buy them, you can do this, you can do that. Yeah, I can, but that wasn't much money at all. Like I say, with the bits, it's about 130 quid or something to make them. Well, it's a, I think, I'm trying to explain it, but basically, the objective was not to build a bag filler. The objective is we've got to put lots of grain into the drill, and this bucket won't tip into our drill because the hoppers only have a small hatch. We used to have a really small bucket that we used to use for filling the John Deere drill, and even that used to spill a bit and we could just about tip in. But had we had this bucket, we could have scooped it up, let a ton come out of that hole, no problem at all, put it in. The snout on it obviously means that you can direct it, so you can fill the drill nice and even. And also it means if we put an extra few hooks down there, it can hold the handles of the bag and we can fill bags with it, rather than, because you can buy a bag filler, but they're like a few thousand quid. Well, every farm has a grain bucket. And like I say, slight modification, you can use it for a lot more things. That was the whole point. So thanks for everyone that was saying, pointing out the obvious, like put a division in, or why don't you just buy a bag filler? I didn't want a bag filler. I just wanted to be able to fill the drill easily with what we already had. Does that make sense? I feel like I've waffled then for like 2 minutes, but that's the thing. Yeah, also, you can fill a grain trailer with a chute on, put a forks under the back with a bag and fill the bag. Problem is, unless the grain trailer is massive, as you tip the trailer up, the chute gets lower and you struggle, and then you end up scratching the back of your trailer with the pallet forks. Or you drop it on a seed sock like we did the other week when we were filling Joe up with wheat, dropped it on a seed sock, scoop the seed sock up and then put it in the drill. But this is quicker. The other thing is as well is, if I put it on the big bucket, I reckon we could go and put 1.5 tons in the drill just in one scoop, and there'd only be 1/4 ton left in one corner, or 1/2 ton. Tip it back on the pile, scoop again, and off you go. This is the field behind the yard, so it's just starting, even more so, to start looking yellow. So give it, I don't know what we're on today, Thursday, or is it Wednesday? By this time next week, I reckon the whole thing might be yellow, and then in 2 weeks, completely. So we'll keep an eye on it, so remind me next Wednesday. Still got Bill and Joe's discs. It's been too wet to use them since Sunday. So as soon as we get some dry weather, hopefully tomorrow, we've not got a lot of rain forecast, we'll go out and I'll get you a proper video of these working. They're similar to ours. I think the diameter of the disc is just a bit smaller, and maybe the packer roller's a bit different, but they have a straw rake on the front, but they do a really nice job. So we'll get it on this barking, hopefully tomorrow. See how we get on. Want to drill this field with beans, but I think it was when I was it in Hull or whatever it was the other week, on the east coast. While I was away, the lads put this drain diagonal across this field, because Richard up there, if you can see, where he's got them static caravan park, it was flooding, so they wanted an outlet. So we've come all the way down into this pond here to get rid of some of the surface water. So drain's all been backfilled last week, but the end bit we kind of never connected up because we didn't have the big digger here. So just doing that now. He's also put electric cable across there and a water pipe for his house there. So we've just been levelling all that off. So hopefully tomorrow, if it stays dry, I'm keeping me back to the wind. If it stays dry, we'll get this disc again, level it off a little bit there with the digger's bin, level it off with this drains bin, and then we'll drill this with beans as well. Andrew's washed the Fastrac. It looks absolutely great. The only thing is I've now got to go across the field to get the low loader out in the middle of it. I'll have to go dead steady so I won't get it dirty. Or he might whinge. This is going to catch out the people at Fast Forward, because there's only 3 names on the birthday bumper. We've got Dougie Hughes is 10, Jaden Cooper's 4, and Sam Myhill is 29 for £30,408. So anyone fast forwarding will be like, oh, what have we done here? Because that only took 11 seconds. If I just go nice and steady, hopefully it won't pick up on the wheels and splash everything. It's a bit weird. Radio's just come on. Name that tune. Quiz question today. It's not too dirty, just a little bit. Maybe I'll plug the brakes in and everything. There we go, that's all filled in now. We're going to put a gate on here. Rich is just going to put one of the rubber tyre blockers in overnight, stop people driving in, and we'll come up in the morning, and if it's dry enough we'll get this ready. Rich is going to go and load the digger up now. Nice sunset there. Probably be better with two of them. Weighs 600 kilos then, full of concrete. Just gets rid of two tyres and it just stops people driving in fields. Doesn't put the tractor can straddle them. Smells like Steve's lit his fire. Must be going to be a cold night. I can smell his fire burning from here. I must say these are working really well. These that we've put on, because you can just twist them dead easy, just like the old ones. And then take them off. Put the pin in there so we don't get lost. We'll drop the ramps down now and get this digger on. Just forget which lever. I think it's the top one. Yeah, it is. The bottom one. That one was the bail wedge. We'll drop that down anyway. Which will track it on. Always film it in case it goes wrong. There we go. Richie's got a Ring doorbell here, so I've just done this. Played that in front of it, I thought it was hilarious. Just back at the yard now, so it's sort of the end of the video, but I've just been sent this picture and this picture. So Team GB, or Aldi must obviously be sponsoring Team GB, but they put it on all the packaging, even for Spanish apples and foreign mushrooms. It's kind of like, to the untrained eye, if you just kind of pick it up, you would think you were buying a British product because it's got the lion and a bit of the Union Jack on, but it's obviously not. So just be aware of that if you are out shopping, because there's plenty of misleading packaging about. Anyway, that's all for today. I'm only about 70% today. I've had two of my friends, basically have had some bad news, and they've told me about it today, so that's not so clever. Anyway, how are you feeling? Let me know in the comments. Answer as a percent. And if anyone's feeling a bit low, other people can read the comments and maybe give them a lift. And I'll see you tomorrow.